But as we talk about, it's all about the kids, right? So at this time, we're going to really hear from a miracle story. So in September of 2007, a lesion was discovered on 10-year-old Sydney's cheekbone. Sydney was diagnosed with LCH, a rare blood disorder. The cause of the disease is unknown today, and it's estimated that LCH affects 1 in 200,000 children each year. LCH is considered an orphan disease, meaning there's no government funding allocated to the research and best treatments or even a cure. So at this time, I'd like for you guys to hear from Sydney, hear her amazing story, and please welcome Sydney to the stage.
You graduated. This is what my oncologist, Dr. Morgan, said at my last appointment. No more blood tests, no more x-rays, no more checkups. To me, this was bittersweet, because even though the doctor had given me the all clear, going to Lurie Children's had been overall a positive experience, and I was going to miss it. My name is Sydney, and I'm a sophomore at New Trier High School. Thank you for having me here to talk to you about why Lurie Children's is such a special place to me. I want to begin by sharing my story with you. When I was 10 years old, my mom noticed some swelling around my eye. We went to my pediatrician, and he prescribed a round of antibiotics because we thought that it was a sinus infection. 2 weeks later, we went back to the pediatrician because the swelling was still there. Then he sent me to the hospital for a CT scan. The results came back later that day showing that I had a lesion in my cheekbone. The next morning, I went to the oncology department at Lurie Children's, and the doctors told me that I needed to have a biopsy. At the time, I didn't even know what a biopsy was. But when I found out that it was a surgical procedure, I immediately started crying because I had never had surgery before, and I started to realize how serious the situation was. If not for Lurie Children's incredible staff and resources, I might not have been diagnosed with Langerhans cell histiocytosis as soon as I was. With such a rare disease, people can go many months as the disease spreads without being diagnosed. LCH, not to be confused with Lurie Children's Hospital, affects 1 in 200,000 children per year, primarily under the age of 10. So I was on the older side to get the disease. I was treated with chemotherapy and steroids for 6 months. Emotionally and physically, there were many ups and downs during this time period. The 4 surgeries and the side effects of the medicines I was on were tough to deal with. Most of the time, I did not feel well, and I missed a lot of school days. Before all of this, back when I was 8, I started making necklaces from rocks found on the beaches of Lake Michigan. Every Thursday, when I had treatment, my family and friends would wear their rock necklaces that I had made for them. They called them Sid Rocks, which sparked the idea for me to raise money with the rock necklaces to find a cure for this rare disease that I had. By making and selling necklaces, I started to feel more in control of my situation. My necklaces led to positive media attention for LCH. LCH research and awareness is so important because government funding is very limited. To date, I have raised nearly $150,000 for histiocytosis research. The reason I continue to raise money is for other kids and babies who will be diagnosed in the future. Not all of the kids who have been treated for LCH have been as responsive to treatment as I was. 2 years ago, I was lucky to have met a little 4-year-old girl named Haley at a medical conference for LCH. We bonded immediately, and I carried her everywhere that weekend. Little did I know that the disease would end up taking her life less than a few months later. Losing Haley shows why I need to help find a cure for this terrible disease. The thing that I love the most about Lurie Children's Hospital is that I never didn't want to go. There were so many great people I met along the way. Julie, the child life specialist, helped me plan how to go back to school after missing weeks at a time, so that it would be an easy transition where kids wouldn't ask me what I was going through because I didn't like to talk about it. Gwendolyn, the Beads of Courage lady, came to find me in the waiting room to give me beads. Beads of Courage is a necklace where each bead represents something you have gone through. For example, one bead could be for a needle poke, one could be for a surgery, one could be for an x-ray, and they all come together to form this long chain of beads that represent your experience through diagnosis, treatment, everything. After I was done with my treatment, my necklace was so long and a great representation of my journey. Dr. Barsness, the surgeon who performed 2 of my surgeries, came to my room before the procedures and explained exactly what was going to happen and wasn't condescending to me. Most of all, Dr. Morgan's devotion to saving kids' lives has inspired me to want to be a pediatric oncologist when I grow up. I think Lurie Children's is lucky to have doctors and nurses who make an effort to understand how kids are feeling and work hard to comfort them through their treatment. Although I don't go back to the hospital for treatment anymore, as a proud member of the Kids Advisory Board, I still go back for our monthly board meetings. On the Kids Advisory Board, we give input to staff members about how the hospital could be more enjoyable for kids. Thank you for participating in this golf event to raise money for Lurie Children's, a hospital that has not only benefited me, but thousands of other children. Your support of Lurie Children's is so important so that it can be the best place possible for the treatment and care of other children. My Sid Rocks fundraising was the reason my family started the Giving Rocks Foundation to fund oncology research at various institutions, including Lurie Children's. Lurie Children's will always be in my heart. Even though I have graduated from being a patient, I will always be an advocate for the hospital and children with rare diseases. Thank you. And I'm also happy to answer any questions that you might have. And if you're interested in purchasing a necklace, 100% of the money goes to medical research for histiocytosis. And you can go to my website, which is sidrocks.com.